Len Bias, Maryland's human highlight reel. January 25th, a career-high 41 points against Duke. He has been performing like this all year long. Bias's 23 points per game average is tops in the ACC, and he has the respect of everyone.
He's hard to stop. He's certainly a great offensive player.
A reporter asked me tonight, how do we stop Lenny Bias? I said, well, don't let him get to the gym, I guess. No other way I can see that he can be controlled or stopped, and he's just tremendous.
One thing is very obvious. The 6'7" senior is definitely not shy about putting the ball up.
My coach told me I'm going to have to do that to win. If that's what it takes for us to win, that's what I'm going to have to do. So I might have to go out and score 40 points or go 30 points because maybe somebody else can't hit. I'm going to have to pick up the slack.
Are there any things that you think you need to do to improve your game?
I can improve my defense. I can rebound when I want to in a tight game situation. Most of the time, I just leave it up to the big guys. But I think my two things I have to work on now is defense, rebounding, and maybe dribbling.
Maryland coach Lefty Driesell won't compare Bias to other Terrapin greats, but there's no doubting what he thinks of his star. He's definitely one of the best players in the country. In your mind...
Wait, hold up. He's the best. You know, there ain't no definitely the one of the best. He's the best.
That's not, I don't try to really judge myself. I just go out and just try to play and do the best I can.
If you thought Superman lived in Metropolis, I suggest you check again. This time in College Park, Maryland. I think you'll find him going by the name of Len Bias.
And of course, this is Len Bias.
That go through your head and the thoughts of the 4 years playing at the school, the excitement, the adrenaline that's going through the bodies of these players now, and they want to have a great game to have a fond memory of their university.
All right, let's check on the starting lineups and go to the public address announcer here at Cole Fieldhouse.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing our starting lineups. For UVA at guard, a 5'10", 165-pound junior from Newport News, Virginia, number 12, Anthony Solomon. For Maryland at guard, a 6'5", 165-pound junior from Grimesland, North Carolina, number 3, Keith Gatlin. For UVA at guard, a 6'4", 185-pound freshman from the Woodlands, Texas, number 32, Lance Blanks. For Maryland at guard, a 6'1", 165-pound senior from Washington, D.C., number 12, Jeff Baxter. For UVA at center, a 6'11", 220-pound junior from New York City, number 24, Olden Polynice. For Maryland at center, a 6'6", 205-pound senior from Oak Hill, West Virginia, number 41, Tom Speedy Jones. For UVA at forward, a 6'9", 200-pound freshman from Indianapolis, number 44, Jeff Daniel. For Maryland at forward, a 6'7", 195-pound sophomore from Temple Hills, Maryland, number 33, Derek Lewis. For UVA at forward, a 6'3", 213-pound sophomore from Alexandria, Virginia, number 20, Derek Sims. And for Maryland at forward, a 6'8", 195-pound senior from Landover, Maryland, number 34, Len Bias. Virginia's head coach, Terry Holland. Maryland's head coach, Charles G. Lefty Driesell.
A nice touch by Terry Holland, starting his bench players who have not seen much time this year, and we'll have to see how long he's going to be able to stick with that. There are the officials, Joe Forte on the left, David Dodge in the middle, and Jerry Donahue on the right. Seen this happen before in similar occasions. Sometimes you let him play for 30 seconds, other times you let him go for a couple of minutes.
Well, I think he'll let him go for a few minutes. You know, so many times, I know as a coach, you thank or you pat your subs on the back after a game or during the course of practice and thank them for what they're doing. But Terry Hollands today is really showing them how much he feels they have done for this ball club in getting them to this point.
Outside of Olden Polynice, as you see the matchups on your screen, the other 4 starters are averaging 7 points a game combined, a little less than that. So you're not going to expect to see too much scoring from this group at the opening.
Well, Hollins has it there. He has a great deal of quickness, though, and they might be able to create some offensive end of the court, creating those turnovers.
It'll be Olden Polynice, the 6'11 junior, against the 6'8 senior Len Bias. Maryland with a big lead in this series. And in the last game, Virginia won convincingly. The tip controlled by Jeff Baxter. And the crowd will be in it every time Len Bias touches the ball. He needs 29 points to be the #1 all-time scorer.
And the other players have to make sure they're aggressive offensively, especially at the guard position with Baxter and with...
There's the alley-oop. And Tom Jones, playing his last game as a senior, has his first 2.
That's the way you like to start out the game, getting the crowd involved in the ball game. And the other player is Gatlin, has got to be aggressive offensively for this ball club.
This is Lance Blanks, the freshman from the Woodlands, Texas, to Solomon inside to Polynice, and swatted away by Bias. Goaltending. Lenny Bias may be a little fired up.
That was an excellent call by the official. What happened there, Bias was a little late coming over and giving that weak side help to Derek Lewis, who was fronting Polynice.
We're tied at 2, opening minute of the ball game. Virginia comes in 7-6 in the conference. Maryland is 5-8.
Well, we see Sims just face guarding Bias.
Polynice with a rebound. Sims at only 6'3" has very little choice.
Well, he's not concerned about where the basketball is on the court. His only concern is just trying to make sure that the Bias does not touch the basketball.
Lewis went for the steal. Polynice continues to control. Blanks penetrating, partially blocked by Lewis, but Polynice follows. And Virginia takes a 4-2 lead.
Well, that's what happens when you have penetration to the basket. So many times we've seen that all during this year, where penetration, missed shot, offensive rebound.
Sims on Bias, gets a screen from Lewis and wants the basketball. Gatlin. Jones to Baxter. Bias working very, very hard. Baxter from outside. 4-4. Another of the Maryland seniors drills his first opportunity. And we're 2 minutes into the ball game, tied. Polynice guarded by Lewis. Lance Blanks misses his first try. It's kept alive, and Lewis rebound.
Derek Lewis has not had the year that everyone expected him to have here at the University of Maryland.
Seems to have a couple of good ones, Billy, and then a couple of poor games.
Yeah, I think he's got to work a little bit harder in the offseason to have himself mentally prepared for next year for the University of Maryland. Because we know he has that talent.
Baxter, 2 for 2, and Maryland regains the lead at 6-4.
Well, we can see right away what Virginia's game plan is, and I'm sure it'll continue when their starters get into the basketball game. They're going to force Maryland to beat them from the perimeter.
Maryland trying to apply some pressure now with 17:09 to go in the first half. Terry Holland has started 4 substitutes in this ballgame. In case you joined us late, it is their reward for playing so hard in practice and helping this team improve. This is Solomon, gets it to Sims. And Sims hits the jumper. A young man who's shooting 35% from the floor on the year hits his first one.
I think more importantly, Sims was a big factor with this Maryland ball club last year. This year, not getting the time.
Bias loses the ball, and here comes Solomon. Terry Holland may keep these guys on the court forever. Gatlin with a steal. And Gatlin will go all the way himself to the jam. 8-6 Maryland.
What I was saying about Sims, he's only averaging 9 minutes a game, though, Mike, but he still comes to practice with that great attitude, and that becomes contagious on a ball club.
That's about half the playing time he had a year ago. Blanks looking inside. This is Daniel and Solomon. Blanks wants to get the ball to Polynice, but Lewis doing a good job denying the wall. Daniel now gets it to Polynice, and Lewis commits the personal foul.
The impressive thing is the patience that this Virginia team has had offensively. They're executing their offense very well. They're showing the patience, looking to get the ball into their star, Olden Polynice.
Guys are supposed to be nervous, and they're only 2 points down, 15:58 in the game. Timeout on the court. It's 8-6 Maryland. 15 minutes, 58 seconds to go. First half, 8-6 Maryland. And both teams have shot rather well. Billy, we're seeing a diamond and one or a box and one against Len Bias and Maryland. Some coaches don't like that kind of defense. Why do some coaches like Terry Holland like to employ it?
Well, today what they're doing is that one player, what Terry Holland is saying, we're not going to let Len Bias beat us, so we're going to have someone face guard him.
Ball knocked out of bounds, it'll be out to Virginia.
Now, the other 4 players, what their attitude is, they're saying that we're not going to let you get the basketball inside Maryland. We're going to force you to shoot the ball from the perimeter and try to limit you to one shot.
Virginia continuing to go with its starting lineup, which includes Sims, Blanks, Daniel, and Solomon.
Now we see a more physical player in there playing against Polynice and Long.
And Polynice got the ball anyway and scored. Got away from Terry Long. Olden Polynice has hit all 3 of his shots. We're tied at 8.
Certain things must happen when you're fronting a player. Number 1, you must have pressure on the ball, not to allow the easy lob pass. Number 2, you must deny one pass away so they can't swing it and throw that lob pass, as we just saw Virginia do against Maryland.
Baxter, 3 for 3 for the senior from Washington, D.C. And Maryland regains the lead. So Polynice and Baxter are both perfect from the floor. And we've got a stoppage of play here. Olden Polynice holding his side or his hand, and I'm not sure which is hurt.
Looked like he got banged in the arm or the side, as you said, Mike, and he's going to have a lot more of that playing against Long inside as we watch him just bang and be very physical against him.
This is Lance Blanks by Speedy Jones and then backs off. Solomon. Maryland crowd trying to help the defense. Polynice forced that one up and missed his first shot of the game. Here's Gatlin. 3-on-2 to Baxter. Back to Gatlin. Missed the shot. Bias kept it alive, but Gatlin is going to be called for the personal foul. And I think he is as upset with himself as he is with the call.
Well, what he did is he just wasn't under complete control. We'll watch him catching the ball. He should have just gotten a little more under control, and he would have had a little easier, softer touch when that banged off the backboard.
First team, or second team foul against Maryland, the first personal against Gatlin. Here's the pressure.
This is a big key for that the Maryland ball club. When they're aggressive at the defensive end of the court, it just carries over for them.
Lance Blanks buries another jumper. We're tied at 10. 5th time the game has been tied, and Terry Holland must be loving the way his substitutes have played in the starting role.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and it's great to see the starters on the bench rooting for their teammates because they know how important they've been to this ball club. And I like what Coach Drizel has done. He's trying to force the tempo.
Bias.
And what I mean by forcing the tempo, they're picking up a little more aggressively, either full court or half court, with these players feeling that they might have the chance to create some turnovers.
First shot today for Bias, who averages 23 points, and the pressure once again fails as Virginia moves it really well. And here is Terry Long inside against Polynice, and Terry Long is going to be called for the personal, his first. He and Polynice really going at it.
His first, team's third.
There, watch them battling for that position inside.
6'5" sophomore forward, Mel Kennedy.
And now Terry Holland will get Sheehy, Mel Kennedy into the ball game along with Polynice. Solomon and Sims will stay in there. So he went with that odd starting lineup for about 6.5 minutes. Here's another turnover, and Baxter hustles out with it. Gatlin to Bias. Had the shot, but didn't want to take it right there. Gatlin will from 19. Maryland 14-10 over the Cavaliers.
Well, in every game I've seen Maryland play, their guards have come out and been aggressive offensively, but they haven't been able to sustain it throughout the whole game. So it will be interesting to see if they continue doing this. Now with Terry Long coming in this basketball game, what he has done is he's picked up the intensity defensively a notch or two for this Maryland ball club with his aggressiveness.
Callaway is in there, gets the ball to Sims. Now Sheehy, line drive jumper, swish.
And I'm sure Terry Holland is pleased to see that. Sheehy has struggled all year with his perimeter shooting. You know, he's only shooting about 44% from the field, and last year he was close to 50.
And sometimes he'll go what seems ages without taking a shot.
That's the problem. You lose that confidence in that shot. And I've said before, you know, the way to get yourself going is a cheap basket to get the confidence.
Bias double team, missed the jumper. Polynice with a rebound. This is Tom Callaway, the junior from Charlottesville. Sheehy wide open, instead passed it inside, loose ball. Gatlin comes out with it, and they're going to call him for a double dribble. And Polynice is down and hurt again. Now, the crowd didn't like it, but we had a pretty good angle on it, and I thought it was a double dribble.
Well, there's that contact, very close to a foul. Well, they called double dribble. That was very close. It looked like Keith Gatlin was just trying to gain control of the basketball, but in the official's eyes, and he was right on top of it, he saw a double dribble.
12:37 to go. It's going to be Virginia basketball. The Cavaliers are down by 2. Bias guarding Sheehy. Polynice knocked away by Long. 3-on-2 break.
Bad decision by Baxter there. He had the open man Long.
Bias can't get the jumper. Speedy Jones kept it alive, but Polynice with another rebound. It's what he does best, clear the boards. Callaway will set it up again, approaching the 12-minute mark in the first half. Virginia's been hurt by outside shooting this year. Here's a whistle and a foul, and it's going to be against Polynice, I believe. And it is. Offensive foul, Olden Polynice, his first.
Well, it appears that Mr. Long realizes the importance of this basketball game, and he's just working his tail off defensively against Polynice.
Timeout on the court. 11 minutes, 54 seconds to go in the half. It's Maryland by 2. Going Maryland 6 out of 9, or Virginia 6 out of 9 rather. Maryland is 7 out of 11, but they come from different places, Billy.
Sure, Virginia has got a nice balanced attack, scoring 6 inside and 6 on the outside, but Maryland is 10 points from the outside.
And the Cavaliers have committed 5 turnovers in the first 8 minutes of the ball game. Maryland only suffering 2. Gatlin, Baxter, Lewis. Here's the alley-oop to Bias. Boy, from a long way out.
Well, there's no excuse for that from the Virginia standpoint. They just came out of a huddle. Coach Holland explained what defense they were in, and the players were looking at each other, not sure what they should be doing at the defensive end of the court. Easy basket for Maryland.
That pass was almost from half court. And a turnover, number 6 in the first half, and Maryland leading by 4 will get the ball back.
Let me tell you, if this Maryland ball club is a talented basketball team, and if they are able to maintain this intensity through this game and carry it into the tournament, they definitely could be a factor.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of teams around that would look forward to playing these guys.
No, and Maryland has had such a difficult schedule all during the course of the year, and one of the top 3 schedules probably in the country.
Gatlin's jumper won't go. Long rebound. Won't go, but he'll get the foul inside.
Boy, you got to love the way he's come to play today. There's a young man, not gifted in the class of a Bias or Derek Lewis, but all he's doing out there is working his tail off, battling inside, and able to pick up the foul.
Foul is on Callaway. That's his first. And Long will go to the line. He is a very strong young man, listed at 6'8", 240. Gatlin will get a breather. John Johnson, player of the year last year in Tennessee, comes in. Maryland has probably played North Carolina better than any other team this year.
Well, it just appears that emotionally they're more prepared for North Carolina than the other games that I've seen them play. And that's been a big factor with this ball club. You know, we watched them play here against North Carolina. North Carolina had to come way back from down, I guess, 8 points in the last few minutes of the ball game to pull that out. We watched them beat State at State a couple weeks ago, winning a dramatic game down in Chapel Hill in overtime.
That's right. It's 18-12 as Long hits a couple of free throws, full court pressure. Callaway gets it up court to Andrew Kennedy. And now they'll set up the offense. Bias has 4 points so far. He needs 25 more to be the all-time scoring leader in Maryland history. Mel Kennedy with a tough shot over Baxter. First two from Mel Kennedy.
He is such an underrated basketball player.
Isn't he?
People that haven't had the opportunity to see much of him, he is just one heck of a basketball player.
He's fun to watch.
Well, he's from the same high school as Len Elmore. Powell Memorial.
And here's a traveling call that will go against the Terps. They turn it over, leading by 4 with 10:25 to go. I heard you talking before we went on the air today about so many New York players now coming to play in the ACC.
Yeah, in the early years, you found North Carolina with Frank McGuire,
right?
The old subway down to Chapel Hill. Now you see every team in the conference having players from the New York area or the Washington area. Those are the two feeding grounds for the ACC.
A couple of hotbeds of basketball.
Boy, the intensity of this Maryland team defensively is outstanding.
Mel Kennedy, an off-balance jumper, hit 2 in a row.
You know what Mel Kennedy is doing? He realizes he has an advantage
over Baxter.
Yeah, over Baxter, and he's just taking advantage of getting isolated. And as I talked about last week, Mel Kennedy is listed at 6'5", but with his arm extended, he's 6'8".
Baxter from the corner, and it's 20-16. The lead is back to 4. Virginia's hit 8 of its first 11 shots. Lefty Driesell must be starting to think, is this going to be the same way the Georgia Tech game last week, where they hit 18 of the last 21?
You can't really fault the defense of this Maryland ball club because they've come out here working very hard. Virginia has just hit some very tough shots and showed great patience at the offensive end of the court. What I was saying about Mel, you know, he plays at 6'8". He has got to have an arm reach. The length of his arm has got to be around 40 inches. Because I'm listed at 6'6" and a quarter. And I have almost a 38-inch arm, and I put my stood next to him and extended my arm with him, and he was an inch or two bigger than me.
That quarter inch that important to you? Huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Kennedy again leans into another one. He is 3 for 3, and it's 20-18.
Well, he has the ability to take the ball to a spot on the court. He can take it as deep. He knows what his range is, and not many players have that ability.
Virginia is shooting 75%, and Maryland will get the bucket and the foul on Mel Kennedy, who's got the big smile on his face and says, I didn't do it.
Well, he did bump him. He did bump, and one of the reasons he came out defensively, there's the bump. Maybe it should have been called a little bit earlier and not a three-point play, but he came out defensively, standing up straight. When you come out on the player when the ball is swung to him defensively, you have to be in your defensive stance with your knees bent and your rear end down in the stance. You can't come out standing erect.
John Johnson trying for the three-point play, gets it. Maryland is now up by 5 at 23-18.
Terry might go back to his starters.
I was just going to say the same thing. Bring those 4 young men off the bench, and they did quite well along with Polynice. She tries to get it inside. Long knocks it away. Terry Long with 2 personal fouls, working hard inside. Tom Jones is going to come in, and Len Bias will get a breather. Virginia so far 9 out of 12 from the floor. Maryland is 10 out of 15. They're both on fire with a basketball. And Polynice again is doubled over inside. Polynice must have been hit in the same place 2 or 3 times already in this ball game, or at least aggravated it.
I couldn't tell if he's just looking to get a call by the official, trying to draw his attention in the foul on Long, or he did get hit pretty hard. I'm not sure.
Well, it may have been after the first time he got hit. Almost anything is going to aggravate it. He was holding the rib cage area on his lower left side. Terry Holland was up there saying we need some fouls in there, and Lefty Driesell was saying everything's just the way it ought to be.
Well, he might need a flak jacket after this.
That's right. Well, still a foul on Terry Long, so if he was begging for the foul, he got his wish that time.
He got the attention of the official. That's a good, smart play by Olin Polynice. Now, well, you can see him pushing off a little bit.
Yeah, he sure did. And that is 3 on Terry Long, Billy.
You know, it appeared that he did have an influence on the official and that call.
Long is going to stay in the ballgame. Now, Bias will come back in, and this probably means either Lewis or Jones will move to the middle. And Long rather disgustingly goes to the bench, but gets a hand from Lefty Driesell for his performance in there. So Bias is back in after one of those rare breathers. He'll be guarding Sheehy. Andrew Kennedy had it knocked away to steal by Lewis.
And there's an example of having pressure on the passer when you're looking to front the postman.
Bias missed that one, and Lewis, what a block by Lewis. Holy cow.
That's the frustrating thing about Derek Lewis, though. We saw a guy really go to the offensive board strong. I have just seen too many games where he has just not been there mentally. And this is what this team needs. They need Derek Lewis to be out there and doing a great job at the offense and defensive end.
And Lewis will get the foul as he was in there against Polynice. That is number 2 on Derek Lewis. So the guys who have been guarding Holden Polynice together have racked up 5 fouls in 12 minutes, and Lefty Drizel doesn't like it.
Going into this game, Coach Holland knew the strength and the advantage he had was inside with Holden Polynice, and his team is showing a great deal of patience looking in there.
Sheehy forced it up. Derek Lewis, who has 56 blocks this year, gets a goaltend instead.
He has 56 this year, but last year he had 99.
That's right. 25-20. Boy, even the obvious calls, the crowd is really booing. They're really up for this game.
Oh, they know the importance, and plus being the last game for a player like Len Bias,
Sure.
you know, they want to see him go out on a good note here at the University of Maryland.
I think they'd like to see him get 40.
Oh, you know, they'd love to see him get that 29th point. It'd be interesting to see if they'd stop the game, give him the basketball, or maybe give him Cole Fieldhouse.
That's right. I think there's 2 schools of thought on that. And here's a foul reaching in is going to be called on Richard Morgan, the freshman from Salem, Virginia, and he didn't like it. 2 schools of thought on that. There's some people here at the university, I asked them before, they would like to stop the game like they do in baseball. When something happens, you stop the game, you give the guy the award, you give him his due. The other thought is, no, this is college basketball. You don't interrupt the game for that. I'd like to see him interrupt it myself.
I do, too.
Timeout with 7:46 to go in the first half. Maryland 25, Virginia 20. Back with more right after this. 6%, Maryland 64. But the Terps have committed 6 personal fouls here in the first half. 3 on Long and 2 on Lewis. Virginia has that lead in the turnover department that they don't want, 7-3.
And if Lewis gets another one, that means that Coach Drizel is going to have to go to Tony Massenberg, and physically he'd have a tough time inside against Polynice.
Polynice has really worked hard to make himself a player, and he's proven he can play with anybody in this league or any other league. Johnson free for the jumper. Hesitated and then pulled up and made it. 27-20. That's a tough shot.
It absolutely is. He had no one on him. He hesitated. It's the toughest shot in basketball. You have to catch it. If you're open, you just go up in a nice fluid motion and shoot the basketball.
John Johnson, the sophomore from Brooklyn, New York, checks in. He'll run the offense. He's the leading assist man on the club, even though he hasn't started a game this year.
Well, we see Maryland's going to his zone.
Morgan made up his mind when he got the ball he was going to shoot, and he missed that one.
Well, he can come in and light it up for this basketball team, and we've seen him do it several times during the course of this year.
Bias playing inside right now. Andrew Kennedy is on in that box and one, or diamond and one, if you prefer.
He's not looking to deny the basketball as much to Bias as we saw Sims.
Tom Jones, the senior from Oak Hill, West Virginia, makes it a 9-point Maryland lead.
He's a young man. I think if he was more aggressive offensively, he would really help this team. After Coach Drizel had to suspend those players, he came out and was effective against Clemson.
Morgan's jumper goes through. The freshman from Salem, Virginia, cuts it down to 7 to 29-22. Billy, I think you're right about that. I have seen Tom Jones in games be more offensively aggressive, and he can do it. He's a player.
You know, sometimes when you play with a player of the caliber of a Len Bias, players just give him that role of scoring the points and lose their aggressiveness and get out of the flow of the offense. And that's been a problem with this ball club, as we've seen teams playing all different types of defenses, and there's the foul right in the arm.
Johnson got Gatlin on the wrist, and Gatlin will go to the line where he's a 76% shooter. The #1 all-time assist man in the University of Maryland history. He's only a junior, already broke John Lucas's record. Missed that free throw.
He rushed the foul shot. just as he rushed that shot in the breaking situation where he hit the glass a little too hard and bounced out.
Gatlin hits the second one. It's 29-22. Now make it 30-22. Some contact underneath. No whistle, and John Johnson says something to the official as Andrew Kennedy was the man who felt the contact. Morgan and Johnson are the guards. This is Mel Kennedy. Banks home another one. Mel Kennedy can't miss. It's 30-24. He's hit 5 shots from the floor.
The thing I like about Mel Kennedy, he does not take a shot out of his range. He knows his limitations. He's a good jump shooter from around 14 feet, and he doesn't go outside of that to try and shoot the ball.
Bias guarded by Andrew Kennedy. Some contact between the two. They're both tough kids. Now they've got him isolated. Bias one-on-one. Boy, it's got to be a helpless feeling to be one-on-one and know you're getting no help.
Well, you know, the helpless feeling is when Bias gets it in scoring area, you know he can shoot the jump shot or drive to the basket. What do you give up?
Derek Lewis got a piece of that one ahead to John Johnson. Mel Kennedy is back, and Johnson makes the right decision.
Good patience. Bring it back. Set up something.
Johnson low to Bias, back to Johnson. Good ball movement. Johnson had the shot, and now he forces one from the baseline.
He had an easy one and made it a tough shot.
And Colony stepped on the end line as Maryland got some pressure underneath defensively. And it will be the Terps basketball. They're leading 32-24.
You know, what Drew Jackson's going to have to do.
Well, they got it into Jones and drew the foul on Mel Kennedy. That's his second.
That was excellent communication. Finding, well, what's ball coming out of bounds, finds him wide open underneath, reading the play and making the good pass. Chance for 2 foul shots for Jones.
2 on the sophomore, Mel Kennedy. And it will send Speedy Jones to the free throw line. He transfer a year ago from Allegheny Community College. And hits the free throw. 5 points today for Tom Jones.
I think defensively, Drew Kennedy is going to have to look to deny the basketball from Bias and not allow him to touch it.
Missed free throw, but Derek Lewis kept it alive, and Gatlin's pass intended for Jones is picked off. 33-24. Gatlin with the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the ACC. You don't see him make the bad pass very often. And Andrew Kennedy inside to Polonese. Missed the shot, got his own rebound. Swung away by Bias.
Oh, what a play.
Oh. And here's another loose ball picked up by Kennedy. Leans into one, finally missed the shot. Polonese has it. Loose. Sheehy. Polonese again. Blocked again. And here's Baxter. What a sequence. Holy cow. Alley-oop. Oh, my goodness. Holy cow.
That's for the highlight film.
That was unbelievable. And Terry Holland says, let's sit down and talk about it.
That's great basketball. We saw Len Bias intimidate Polonese first shot.
Let's take a look at that last sequence. If you're a basketball fan, this was just incredible to watch. Virginia with the ball.
First thing, watch Bias force the missed shot. Now he comes back, blocks it almost to half court, just letting Polonese know who did it. Now we'll watch another block shot coming up by, I think Derek Lewis gets it once they get control. Here it comes. And here they go, and watch this great lob pass. Any questions?
What, no? I wouldn't know what to ask. 35-24, the margin is 11, Virginia with the ball. What a sequence.
You see Maryland back in this zone, and this zone is giving the Virginia team a problem. He's got to go up and shoot that shot right away.
He misses it. Lewis with a rebound, and we've got a foul inside. They're pointing at Drew Kennedy.
That's a player lacking confidence. He had a good open 15-footer, but just put it on the floor trying to get a little closer to the hole.
You never passed any of those up, did you?
Never. Never. When in doubt, shoot.
35-24, Maryland by 11, and Virginia has shot the ball very well, but Maryland is just really playing terrific basketball.
What's that saying? When it, he who does not shoot.
He who hesitates is lost, and he who shoots will live to shoot again another day, something like that. Always love guys with a shooter's confidence. You missed the first 10, so what? Put up the 11.
The amazing thing, I didn't have the ability to do it.
John Johnson misses the jumper. And here comes Lenny Bias. Boy, when he touches it, the crowd just gets electric.
What he's doing today, he's playing a complete game. He's contributing defensively. He's moving the basketball. He's very active offensively, even if he's not touching it, which opens up easy opportunities for his teammate.
Well, he's been able to do that since Baxter and Gatlin particularly have played very well as guards. Here's that isolation play again.
Good patience.
Shot clock is at 12.
Still plenty of time. And there he is. Bang. Oops.
Won't go. Lewis, offensive rebound as he got the big bounce. Gatlin. And John Johnson with a rebound for the Cavaliers.
Still a shot Gatlin must take.
Sheehy misses the shot. Offensive rebound. Won't go. Another one. And Andrew Kennedy got 2 pops at it. Gets it in. The lead is down to 9.
Got to make sure they move the basketball and maintain that aggressiveness at the offensive end of the court.
Len Bias with only 6 points in the first half. He is 23 shy of the all-time scoring record. There's Baxter. Baxter with a tough first half. 5 out of 5 from the floor. And it's 37-26 Maryland.
And he's shooting the deep jump shot. There's no gimmies, and that was good defense that time. There was a hand right in his face.
Johnson and Sheehy just passing the ball outside the zone. And now Sheehy won't go. Andrew Kennedy with a long rebound. Triple pump. Missed it. Loose ball. And we're going to have a foul against Virginia. And it's Polynice, number 2 on Olden Polynice.
Here's the rebound. Watch the reach in. And the foul coming over the back.
Virginia hit 10 of its first 13 field goals. Since then, they've been 3 out of 16.
Watching Sheehy shoot. He throws the ball. He's not shooting it. You can see he's not finishing his shot. He doesn't have that good follow-through and getting the arc on the shot.
Derek Lewis.
Lewis goes to the free throw line. Hits the first. 3 points for Derek Lewis, and it's 38-26, the margin up to 12. Terry Holland calling out to his ball club.
Now, I would not be surprised to see Coach Holland get a technical foul to try and get his team going. Get them motivated. Do anything. They're a little flat now. They're not that aggressive ball club that we usually see from this Virginia ball club right now.
Well, they're down by 12, 38-26 with 1:40 to go in the half. Here is a whistle and a foul inside. Lewis and Polynice tangling again.
You know, there's a case. Massenburg was sitting at the scorer's table ready to come in even before Lewis got to the foul line. He misses the foul shot, can't get him in. He goes down and picks up his 3rd foul with 1:41 to go. And now, coming back in the second half, Coach Uzel's got to make a decision. He's got Lewis with 3 and Long with 3. Does he decide to go bring Massenburger in early in the basketball game, or to start the second half, or go with his 2 horses that have been playing in the middle?
This is the first free throw of the ball game, and Andrew Kennedy makes it for the Cavaliers. Virginia had not had any. Kennedy now with 3 points, 4 rebounds, all of them on the offensive end of the court. Virginia down by 11. This young man has done more than they could have possibly hoped for him on the floor. Terry Holland said that they got him as a leader, as a junior college transfer. They wanted somebody to stabilize the ball club. Sims comes in for Virginia. Polynice is going to get a rare breather. And the lead is 10. Massenburg will hand the ball to Gatlin. So Maryland's centers, Derek Lewis and Terry Long, both with 3 personals. So the freshman Massenburg is in there right now.
This is one of the few times you'll see Maryland with a size advantage underneath. And now we're going to have to, this Virginia ball club, they'll pick up the intensity defensively, looking to trap, be more aggressive to make up for that size disadvantage that they have right now against Maryland.
Sheehy is playing in the middle at 6'9", 230. And Bias is fouled as he goes around Kennedy. And this will send Len Bias to the free throw line, which is about as much of a lead pipe cinch as you could hope to get.
Now, you young people, watch the defensive man coming out to play against Bias. He is out of control there, Drew Kennedy. He should have come out a little more under control and maybe not come up as tight against Bias in that situation. And Bias was smart enough to be able to create that contact and get to the foul line.
Bias had a 32 straight free throw string that he lost the other day, missed the 33rd, and he missed that one. The second leading free throw shooter in the conference, 86%.
I'm sure he heard you talking about it.
Oh, don't do that to me. 39-28. Morgan's jumper outside 39-30, and as Billy said, the young man can come in and light it up. 1 minute exactly to go first half. Alley-oop. Gatlin with a perfect pass over the top of Sheehy.
Sheehy came over from the weak side to give the help defensively to Drew Kennedy and still couldn't help out in that case. It was just a great pass and a great play by Bias.
Sheehy inside to Kennedy. Nice pass from Sheehy. The shot clock is now off. Bias, incidentally, with 9 points here in the first half, and Maryland can play for the last shot, leading by 9. We're at 18 seconds to go. You've got the insert clock on the lower right part of your screen.
Well, they'll get this down to 5 or 6. Try to get the ball into Bias's hands for that last shot.
Baxter had it taken away, and Baxter will commit the personal foul with 6 seconds left. And boy, is Lefty Drizel upset about that.
On Jeff Baxter, his first.
Well, he was double teamed. He should have moved the basketball instead of trying to penetrate. And they were able to create that turnover. Watch your man come over and look to double team. Good hands. And there's the foul.
So Sims will go to the line, a 64% shooter. His playing time's been cut just about in half this year, down to about 10 minutes.
Number 20, Derek Sims.
Had a tough shooting year from the floor. Gets that free throw.
But Sims has the ability to really get this team going defensively. Against North Carolina State, he came off the bench in the last several minutes of the ball game where State had a nice lead. He was able to turn that thing completely around from the defensive standpoint. And that's, you know, you look at the score. Right now it's an 8-point lead for this Maryland ball club, who's played an outstanding first half. But it's only 8 points.
That's right.
And this Virginia ball club can really turn it around and get after you defensively.
Sims got the roll. 6 seconds to go, and Sheehy got hit across the face, apparently, holding that right eye.
Back in for the Cavaliers, 44, Jeff Daniel.
It takes a lot to hurt Sheehy. I'm going to get him out for the last 6 seconds of the first half. The margin 7. Maryland's got to push it up. Comes Gatlin. All the way. Oh, what a play by Gatlin, and he drew the foul with 1 second left.
Now that's the type of play that puts a coach out on the funny farm, allowing a player to take the ball the length of the court, penetrate all the way, not only scoring, but drawing the foul.
And with 1 second to go, Maryland's lead expands to 9. Gatlin so far 7 points and 8 assists in the first half.
This has to be one of the better halves of basketball for this Terps team this season.
They've played this way really for the last 3.5 weeks. Desperation shot by Sims. Morgan tried to tip it, but well after the buzzer. That is the end of the first half. Our score, the University of Maryland 44, the University of Virginia 34.
And probably said, well, this isn't the Virginia team I'm used to watching. Let's change our uniforms and take a look at the real Virginia basketball team.
Now here's the story on Len Bias. He needs 19 points to tie Albert King, having passed Adrian Branch and John Lucas. needs 20 points to become the all-time Maryland career scorer. And Billy, let me pass on my personal congratulations to you being elected to the Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. That's a terrific honor.
Well, it really is, and I'm just thrilled about it, and it's a great way to cap off your career, and it's just a dream for everybody that does participate in basketball that they end up in the Hall of Fame.
Here's Sheehy's jumper starting at the second half. Of course, you may get elected again as a broadcaster down the line, so don't give up yet.
Well, I better hang around with you a lot if I'm going to do that. But you saw Sheehy's shot right there. Did not hesitate, went right up, had the good 15-footer, and buried it.
44-36. The margin is 8. This is Lenny Bias, stripped and fouled. Let's see if they give him 2 shots.
I would think that would be a 2-shot foul. He was in the act going up for that shot. Now here's Drew Kennedy reaching in, getting a piece of Bias's hand.
Bias will go to the line. He missed a free throw in the first half. Very unusual for him. He's 1 out of 2. 20 points shy of being the all-time leading scorer in Maryland history.
Right now, I'm sure that's very secondary to him. Right now, he knows the most important thing is somehow he's got to help his team today to win this big game against Virginia going into the tournament.
Because he'll get that, now it's 18 points. He'll get the 18.
Barring any injury or sickness, he should be able to get that. But then again, if he doesn't get it today, and some team comes up with a special defense in that first game of the AC tournament, you never know.
I don't think there is a special defense. I think they tried everything but hand grenades.
A player, you're right, because a player like Bias, the person that stops him is himself when he's not mentally into the game or motivated for whatever reason. But that happens very rarely.
Gatlin looking inside to Lewis. Back to Gatlin. 10 points for Keith Gatlin and a 12-point Maryland lead.
You know what I like about that? He missed a few of those in the first half, but he came out in the second half, and as we've stated, their guards have got to maintain their aggressiveness.
Callaway from outside. Jones had a hand on it and lost it, and Mel Kennedy followed. 12 points for Mel Kennedy today. Young man averages 12 points a ball game, so he's already there with 18-15 to go in the game. What a difference in this Maryland club since Gatlin and Baxter have become more aggressive shooting the ball. Bias all the way underneath, stepped out of bounds. Went into no man's land.
Well, he got himself caught there, trying to wheel around the baseline. Good defense, using that baseline as a defensive man, forcing him out of bounds.
Maryland in the 2-3 zone. Baxter going for the steal, got a hand on it, couldn't hold it. Callaway recovered to Sheehy. Mel Kennedy drops it off to Drew Kennedy. And the lead is down to 8.
We're watching a different Virginia team. And that's great.
Certainly different uniform.
Absolutely. But that's a great psychological move by Coach Holland. You know, and I'm sure he just told these players that, hey, that's not the Virginia team that's going to be out here playing in the second half. As a matter of fact, we're just going to change everything from our uniforms on down.
Maryland moving the ball pretty well against the zone. And Baxter from outside. Jeff Baxter.
Boy, he is hot.
He's made all 6 field goal attempts, and Maryland's lead is back to 10. Derek Lewis playing with 3 personal fouls is in the middle of that zone. He'll most often be near Polynice. Mel Kennedy having quite a ball game. 14 points for Mel Kennedy. 7 out of 9 from the floor.
And you're seeing one difference, though, that what this zone does for this Maryland team is they're just not as aggressive as they were in the first half with that man-to-man. They did have success, no question about it, with the first half in their zone. But
Bias had the shot blocked by Andrew Kennedy, and I think that may be a situation where the officials just can't believe anybody's going to block Bias's shot, because that looked like a good one.
It did. I thought it was a good block. We'll take a look. Good defense, forcing that lob pass, goes up. He might have followed, after he blocked the shot, he might have touched his hand, but that looked like, to me, it looked like a good play.
And that is number 4 on Andrew Kennedy, the junior from Kingston, Jamaica. Just the thought of Jamaica gets me a little tongue-tied. Bias with that cool, collected exterior, hits both free throws. Back to 10 points at 52-42. That's Richard Morgan back in the ballgame. 13 points for Lenny Bias. The countdown continues. He needs 16 more for that all-time record. And the crowd is just hanging on every shot he takes. This is Morgan to Polynice. Blocked by Lewis. Polynice got it back and put it in.
Good second effort by Polynice. That's the 5th blocked shot today by Lewis. Just an active basketball player today, and that's the way he's got to play all the time if this Maryland team is going to have any success down the over the last few games of this season.
Bias to Lewis, trying to penetrate. He walked.
Good call. He moved his pivot foot.
Terry Holland and Lefty Driesell battling it out in this ball game. Close personal connection between the two. Holland played for Lefty at Davidson, coached with him. This is Sheehan. Maryland's back to a man-to-man. And whistle before the shot, and it's going to be on Tom Jones against Mel Kennedy, the hottest offensive player the Cavaliers have.
And they're smart. They're going to him. You know, they executed their set offense beautifully that time and got it to the man they wanted to get it to, Mel Kennedy.
Timeout with 15:50 left in the game.
Is having 6 teams from the conference. How does the selection committee look upon that? And now you wonder, looking back at that Clemson game, where Coach Driesell felt he had to discipline 3 players on his ball club. Now, very easily, they could have beaten Clemson and been in a position where they could have a 500 record in the conference. Not only that, they could have ended up finishing 4th in this, tied for 4th in the conference with a 500 record.
But I don't think it's anything Lefty would go back and want to change, nor would anybody here at Maryland. I think they all feel it was definitely the right thing to do.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. There were rules that were set, and no one can break the rules.
Sometimes you stand by your principles and it hurts you, but it's the feeling is that it's worth standing by them whether it hurts or not. Polynice, who's only scored 2 points since the opening minutes, doesn't get that. Callaway with a double clutch. Virginia crashing the boards, but Baxter comes out with it.
Excellent rebounding. You need your guards to come back in, especially a team like Maryland. It's a rebound for a team like Maryland that doesn't have that size and bulk inside. What's happened defensively? Lewis now is forcing Polynice a few feet further from the basket before he looks to make that move offensively. And that's been a big factor starting this second half with playing against Polynice.
Tom Jones is fouled by Callaway. That'll be his second. Terry Long will come in the ballgame, and Derek Lewis will sit down for a spell. 15:04 left to go in the game. Long comes back in with 3 personal fouls.
Polynice better get those rib pads now.
Yeah.
Long back in the basketball game. But Long is the one that I feel that just has ignited this ball club in that first half with his intensity.
Mel Kennedy reached in, took it away from Bias, and I think was so excited about it, he lost it out of bounds.
He was getting to the other end of the court before he got full possession of the basketball. Here's the good quick hands by Mel Kennedy. Reaches in. He was looking up the court. You saw that, and he bounced it off his foot.
Baxter, guarded by Callaway. Bad pass and knocked away. Good defense inside by Richard Morgan, the freshman. Still Maryland's ball with 35 seconds to go on the shot clock. Baxter, what a hit. Jeff Baxter can't miss. He's hit 7 out of 7.
And he's been hitting from downtown. I mean, he has not made an easy basket all day.
And when the guards hit for Maryland, the inside opens up, and that means Len Bias can get the ball where he wants it. Morgan leans into a tough shot.
That's just a great individual move right there.
54-46, the Cavaliers refuse to fold with 14:15 left. Jones, almost lost it. Virginia's defense becoming more aggressive. Bias wants the ball and gets it. Won't go, but he's fouled, and they're going to call it on Mel Kennedy. That'll be 3 on Kennedy. And you look at the disdaining laugh on the face of Terry Holland.
You're you're in serious trouble when Bias gets the ball on the block and has the ability. You can see him, he got whacked right on the elbow. When he's got you in that position, you're in a tough position because all you have to do is just pray that he misses the shot.
Bias at the line, 5 out of 6 today. He has 13 points, make it 14. He is now 15 points shy of the Maryland all-time record. Something he, I think, would love to get it at home. Not if it would endanger winning the ball game, but he'd love to get it in front of his fans. And so would they. They came to see that today.
Yep, they did.
John Johnson will come in. Gatlin will go out with a breather. Gatlin nearing double figures in assists today.
Len Bias is a blue chipper. When he goes to the NBA, he will be an impact player. He will be able to go out there and contribute as a rookie, which is so difficult when you make that step from college to pros.
Here's the 4th foul on Terry Long for holding Polynice. Billy, if you were drafting players right now, where would you take Len Bias in this year's NBA draft?
I would have to. I have not really seen all the players in the country. I haven't seen them as often as I've had the opportunity to see Len Bias. But I would have a very difficult time passing him up.
Morgan with a jumper. And it's 56-48.
They're looking to isolate Morgan on that side, and the last 2 times he's been effective, just taking it to the baseline and isolating.
Long sets the big screen outside.
But getting back to your point about Bias, he just has a complete offensive basketball game. He shoots it from the perimeter. He can take it to the hole, and he can run the floor.
There's Long, jump hook over Polynice, won't go. The rebound to Mel Kennedy. Now, they were trying to get another foul, I think, on Polynice. He's working with 3. Polynice got by Long and put it in.
Well, remember I mentioned that Lewis did an excellent job forcing Polynice to receive the ball a few feet further out in the court. What's happened is Polynice is getting the ball within a foot or 2 of the hoop and just turning and taking it to the hole.
And Lefty Driesell has seen that big lead cut down to 6 points at 56.
And Speedy Jones has got to get himself more involved. He has just become invisible out here at the offensive end.
This is Lewis beating the pressure. Then he lost the basketball, and stepping out of bounds after he stole it was Richard Morgan. Good hustle by the Cavaliers. Tough break, but they don't get the ball.
Well, Derek should know better. You know, you're the center, a big man. Maybe you take a couple dribbles to get yourself in an area where you can then give it up to one of the guards, but that's not what he's supposed to be doing out on the court.
Here's Baxter.
There's a little bit of a trap by more aggressive defense by the Virginia Ball Club, looking out to pick up the tempo.
Bias, baseline, got it. Len Bias with 17, and the lead is back to 8 at 58-50.
To answer your question, I think Len Bias is going to be one of the top 3 picks in the NBA draft, depending on which young men might go hardship.
Be tough to pass him up as a general manager, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, because he is going to be a great pro. You know, dimensions you don't see.
Sheehy missed. Polynice offensive rebound. Back to Sheehy. Oh, tough shot by Tom Sheehy.
Can't give up the second shots. They're giving up too many. There's a dimension we haven't had the chance really to see of Len Bias, and that's when he gets up in the pros where they look to run a little bit more, and he gets to the open court. Then I think he's going to be truly unstoppable.
And they'll call Bias for a walk this time. He made his turn, then appeared to jump with both feet.
Now we're seeing the the Maryland Ball Club that's looking to do nothing but get the ball to the big guy.
Callaway had it blocked, and here comes Gatlin back the other way. Baxter. Now Baxter is 8 for 8, and Maryland's lead is back to 8. That was a big turnaround there. Virginia had a chance to cut the lead to 4 points.
But the big thing for Maryland, the players at the offensive end of the court now are starting to stand and watch Len Bias. Get him the ball, and let's see Len score 2 points and carry us. Right. They're not going to beat Virginia that way. They're going to have to all contribute at the offensive end of the court.
Callaway, guarded by Gatlin. 11 minutes and 8 seconds left in this game. Sheehy tried to get it inside. They're going to get Derek Lewis for a reach-in. That is number 4 on Lewis. Both he and Terry Long now in deep, deep foul trouble. And Lefty Driesell has only a couple of options left to him, putting Speedy Jones in the middle at 6'6", or bringing his 6'8" freshman Tony Massenberg back in.
And also defensively, do you go to the zone now, or do you gamble and you play the straight man-to-man, figuring this is our last game of the season here and it's so important? We're just going to roll the dice a little bit, hoping that we'll be able to get the last 11 minutes from Long and Lewis out there without both of them fouling out.
Well, now they're saying it is only the third personal foul on Derek Lewis. We had the halftime stats with him having 3.
Yeah, we thought he picked up that third one at the end of the first half.
Right. Lewis comes up with the basketball, gives it off to Baxter, and the crowd comes to its feet.
This team needs the crowd now. They need a hoop to really get them going. They need a well-executed play, and it'd be help this Maryland team if someone else besides Bias scores.
Bias is going to try it himself, force that one against the double team. Ahead to Sheehy. And the lead is down to 6 at 60-54.
What happened there? Both guards, Baxter, Gatlin, standing and watching while the rebound was coming off. Neither one reacting, getting back defensively. You need at least one guard getting back defensively every time the shot goes up.
This is Gatlin to Tom Jones, and Jones will get a foul inside on Mel Kennedy against Len Bias. And we have that as number 4 on Mel Kennedy.
Foul on number 21 for the Cavaliers. Mel Kennedy, his 4th, team foul number 5.
That is only the 15th foul, so Bias will not shoot the free throw.
That's the 4th foul on Mel Kennedy.
Now we've got him with 4. Lewis now officially with 3. Here's Tom Jones.
That's the guy that's got to get it going.
Got the bounce, and it's 62-54 Terps.
Mike, I watched him when they played Clemson down there without Bias, Baxter, and Johnson. And that young man just took that responsibility on his shoulders.
Mel Kennedy fired up an air ball that time, and Bias comes out with it.
And just showed so much in the way of offense. But he's just a young man that is not willing to go out there and assert himself a little bit more at the offensive end of the court.
Gatlin trying to penetrate, kicks it off to Baxter for the free jumper. Won't go. The first miss today for Jeff Baxter after he had hit 8 straight. Polynice wanted the lob, and Johnson couldn't get him the ball. Tom Jones was all over him.
Now with these 2 guards in there, Johnson and Morgan, these 2 young men really get this team running after turnovers or on defensive rebounds. So we'll see them get out on the break.
Polynice, the jump hook over Lewis. It won't go. 8:56 left, and it's Maryland 62, Virginia 54. The crowd wants Bias to get every shot. They want him to get that scoring record. Baxter stripped to the ball. Jones picks it up.
There he goes.
Well, he can do it. There is no doubt about that. 11 points for Speedy Jones.
You know, that's why this Maryland team is a talented ball club. But the chemistry, they've never gotten it where Coach Driesell would like to have had it this year, where everybody is contributing on the court.
Polynice, another jump hook. This time Lewis couldn't influence it, and it's 64-56. Polynice with a dozen. Polynice hit his first 3 shots in the game. Since then, he has been 3 for 10. Jones, 3 in a row. Yes. You wonder what turns the switch on, don't you?
It's the athlete's mind. Such a delicate thing. And that young man is an outstanding athlete besides being a good and great, an outstanding basketball player.
Morgan misses. Johnson follows. Speedy Jones is 6 out of 6. Terry Holland wants timeout. And he'll get it with 7 minutes and 42 seconds left to go in the game. Maryland continues to hold on to the lead. 58. The lead had been cut to 6, and Virginia had the ball. We have a score to pass along to you. Oklahoma has knocked off North Carolina State 72-69. And we've got one more to update you on in the second half. Michigan leads Northwestern 40-33. That is the second half score, not a final as yet.
That's a tough place to play out there in Oklahoma. They had won 48 straight before they lost to Kansas.
In that barn-like facility. That is a tough place to play.
Now, what Coach Collins has done, he has put in his two best defensive guards, Johnson and Sims, and they're going to look to create some turnovers and pick up the tempo from the defensive end of the court. This is the same lineup that got them going against State at home. And here they come with the trap.
Gatlin, they beat the 10-second count and just.
Now we'll see a little bit more pressure, a little more intensity with these two quick guards that Coach Holland has in there now.
Story on Len Bias, he has 17 points. He's still 12 shy of the all-time record. Kicks it back to Jones. Bias kept it alive, and Gatlin has it. Missed the shot. Lewis offensive rebound. He missed. Jones picked it in. Speedy Jones with 15 big points. And that time they killed him on the board.
And that's something they haven't been able to do, and you got to give credit to Len Bias giving them an extra opportunity.
John Johnson misses a line drive. 3-on-1 break. Baxter in the middle to Jones. Blocked. Oh, blocked. Sims came out of nowhere. Johnson to Kennedy. What a big turnaround that is. 68-60.
That's a 4-point play. But the thing Drew Kennedy did, he saw that where the defense was, and he just floated to the corner and got the good open shot.
Sims at 6'3" came out of nowhere and skied for the rejection. Lewis against Polynice missed the shot, but he will get the foul.
Fouls on number 10.
I think this surprised Polynice a little bit. He didn't expect Lewis to take the ball and go that strong to the basket.
They'll call the foul on Johnson, however, reaching in. Lewis only 3 points today, but he has 7 rebounds and 5 blocked shots.
Shooting 2.
Sophomore from Temple Hills, Maryland. In and out on this one. Only hit 1 out of 4 free throws. Now he's a 72% free throw shooter.
Well, foul shooting is confidence, confidence, confidence.
Hit the second. 69-60 with 6:12 left. Maryland desperately needing this win. They feel to assure themselves of an NCAA bid. Drew Kennedy altered his shot. Polynice blocked by Lewis and a jump ball. What a block by Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis is showing us today what he can do for this Maryland ball club. Now there he is defensively, forcing Drew Kennedy to change his side, comes back and blocks the shot. That's just a great effort by Lewis.
And on that alternate possession rule, the ball will go to Maryland. Polynice comes out of the ball game. Morgan comes back in. Dangerous pass by Lewis. Gatlin just got it as Morgan went for the steal. Now Maryland can't just work time off the clock here. They've got to score.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, because if they just stand around and are not active offensively, a couple turnovers and bang, here's that Virginia ball club.
Len Bias with an off-balance runner. He gets the bucket and the foul. What a play by Bias. Oh, he had that look in his eye. He wanted to shoot it that
Here's
time.
a strong move to the middle. And we see defensive man sliding over, never having good defensive position.
Foul is on Sims. Bias with 19 points. He is 10 shy of that record. 6 out of 11 from the floor, 7 of 8 free throws for the All-American. And Tony Massenberg will come in for Lewis, who gets a big hand as he goes out from lefty Brazil.
And Bias for 1.
We'll see this Maryland team come back, go to his zone, try and force the perimeter shot.
20 points for Len Bias, and it extends the Maryland lead, matching the biggest of the game. 12 points at 72-60.
Now Virginia's got to score. They've got to pick up with a little more defensive pressure, and I wouldn't be surprised to look for them to go to some traps after they have if they do score at the offensive end.
Time is becoming a factor. 5:26 left. Baxter with a rebound inside. And the foul is going to go against, I believe, Tony Massenberg for pushing off inside.
Fouls on Tony Massenberg, his first.
Pushing off Polynice.
14 foul.
Terry Holland has to be concerned with the way his club has reacted to this game. They're down by a dozen with 5:21 left. Sheehy won't go. Gatlin with a rebound. Maryland with a 12-point lead in the ball, and the crowd will stand. Gatlin, a little hot dog move off to Jones. Baxter. Bias says, let's move the ball over here to my side. Here's the double team. Jones off to Massenberg. Won't go, but he will get the foul.
Excellent ball
raises
movement.
his arm.
That was excellent ball movement. Baxter recognized the trap coming, swung it, and they got the nice pass. And there's Massenberg looking to try and finish off the play and draws that foul from Sheehy.
So Massenberg goes to the line. He's a freshman from Sussex, Virginia. High school, you can tell what an athlete he was. He was a hurdler and a high jumper. And this is the first free throw.
Only shooting 56% from the foul line.
Trying to save it. It's a jump ball, and Gatlin comes down with it to Massenberg. So Maryland gets a break here, and we've got the foul against John Johnson, who did not particularly care for the call. That'll be 3 on John Johnson.
That was on number 10 for UVA, John Johnson. His third.
Massenberg will go back to the line. Maryland has hit 16 of 24 free throws. That's only 67%, well under their average for the year. Cavaliers have had only 4 free throws all day long. Massenberg hits this one.
Now the Virginia team has their back to the wall. They're going to have to come down, maybe take a quicker shot than they might like not to. They probably would like to use a little time and get the good shot, but their guards might have to fire a little quicker from the outside. They're going to have to pick up. They're going to have to trap. They're going to have to look to gamble at the defensive end of the court. And if they can't get that, look to foul.
Mel and Drew Kennedy back in the ball game as Massenberg hits a pair at 74-60. Maryland's biggest lead of the game with 4:43 left. Mel Kennedy stripped by Gatlin and back into Massenberg. What a great play by Gatlin.
Absolutely. You know what was great? Coach Rizal was not going to allow his team to just sit back there in a 2-1-2 or 2-3 zone. He had them coming out. The trapping, being aggressive at the defensive end of the court.
Gatlin and Morgan really talking to each other. And Morgan fouls Gatlin, and Gatlin says, here you go, buddy. They've been chatting at each other for about 3 minutes.
The greatest thing is basketball players can't fight. And they just can't wait till that official gets over there after they've been talking to each other. If the officials never came, they'd just stand there nose to nose and no one would do a thing.
And Terry Holland doesn't care for it. Keith Gatlin is still steamed. He and Morgan had been really jawing at each other for a while. Gatlin 10 points, 11 assists today, couple steals. And now Lefty Driesell really going after the officials at midcourt and is told to sit down. I don't know if there's going to be another foul called in here or not.
I just think it's a one-on-one situation. Well, let me ask you a question.
Gee, I hope I have an answer.
Okay. Number 1. Who do you like as the player of the year in the ACC?
I have to go with what Bobby Kerman said. He's biased toward Mark Price, but he's going to have to vote for Len Bias. Well, I think Len Bias in the last month and a half has proven that he's the best player in this conference. And when you say that, you're talking about beating out somebody as great as Johnny Dawkins, as great as Mark Price, as great as Brad Doherty. But I think Bias, with all he's done, has got to be the guy.
Now, because there is quite a difference from MVP, someone that has contributed the most to help their team to have success, whereas we're talking about the most talented player in this conference, yes. And I think Len Bias is the most talented player in this conference. Now, if you're talking MVP, I would have to look to somebody from one of the top 3 teams in this conference.
That does make it a difficult choice. Here's the situation here. The personal foul was on Morgan. Gatlin shot the free throws and made them, but they have called a technical on Gatlin. And Sheehy will shoot the technical. So Gatlin was penalized for either handing the ball to Morgan or something he said, and Sheehy who is an 84.7% free throw shooter, misses it.
Well, when things are going right for you, and they're going right today for Lefty. He's over there clapping, applauding his ball club. He's probably telling Keith, good technical foul, Keith. That's the time we needed it.
4:18 to go in the game. Maryland by 16. Drew Kennedy inbounds to Morgan. Virginia in a lot of trouble. They need points, and they need them in a hurry. Sheehy, nice fake. Got Lewis in the air and draws the foul. And Terry Holland almost is up applauding, almost to tell the officials you finally called one.
Fouls on Derek Lewis.
There's a good head and shoulders fake. And all that was, Lewis was not going to allow him to get that three-point play.
Now, that's got to be 4 on Lewis.
Yeah, but what he did is Lewis just allowed him to get that position inside. And once he got it there, he had one of two choices. Either let him score the 2 or make sure he had to go to the foul line. And after missing the technical, not a bad decision.
Sheehy hits this one. A funny style, almost shoots them stiff-legged. Just comes up on his toes a little bit. Sheehy hits a pair at 76-62, and Terry Holland with that situation substitution gets Sims back in the ballgame for Sheehy.
He's got his quickest team on the court, looking to pick up, be as aggressive, trapping, and if they don't get the steal quickly, they're going to have to look to take a foul. And I'm sure they prefer to foul Lewis if they got the opportunity, because he has not shot well from the foul line.
Baxter in the lane with a finger roll, and Jeff Baxter with a tremendous offensive performance. He has 18.
Well, Sims just thought he was going to take it back and use some of the clock, but he just finished off the play and got the 2.
And that's the first time he's not made an outside jump shot. First layup he's had today. Polynice gets loose. Olden scores inside. It has been a tough day for Olden Polynice, even though he has 14 points. They bottled him up rather well. The lead is 14 points.
They should foul him right there. Pick up the foul, but he's stuck.
Keith Gatlin penetrates and scores, and it's 80-64. That's 14 for Gatlin. And Len Bias has gotten the kind of help that if he gets, Maryland is going to win ball games.
They're going to give somebody fits when they open up this tournament.
Drew Kennedy bears it. Maryland will finish 6th in the conference standings no matter what happens today. That's 12 for Drew Kennedy. 3 minutes even to go in the ball game, and it's Maryland by 14. Virginia needs something of a miracle comeback. This would raise Maryland's record to 17-12, 6-8 in the ACC.
So there's a chance for Maryland opening up against North Carolina in the first round of the ACC tournament if Carolina does not beat Duke.
That's right. Bias, and we're going to have a foul and maybe goaltending. Let's check it out. Offensive foul on Len Bias. And now they're asking, the officials asking each other if it's a goaltend.
There's the penetration. That's an excellent call by the official.
Sure is. That's number 1 on Len Bias, the 6th, make it now the 7th team foul against Maryland. So it doesn't look like Len Bias is going to get that record. Not in this game. He's 9 points shy of Albert King's all-time mark right now. 9 points shy of overtaking King. Drew Kennedy at the free throw line hits it 80-67.
Who's your coach of the year?
I don't mean to steal your thunder because I was thinking of this the same time you were. How about a vote for Bob Stack from somebody from Wake Forest? I think he's done an incredible job not getting beaten by 40 points every night with all the things that have happened to his team.
I agree with you. He's done a phenomenal job. And the job of a coach is to get his team to play as close as possible to their full potential. And he has surely done that at Wake Forest this year.
8.4, but Virginia running into the same buzzsaw in shooting percentages that Maryland ran into last Saturday right here against Georgia Tech.
I didn't get a chance to see that game, but Georgia Tech must have really put a display of great offensive shooting, etc., in that second half against this Maryland ball club.
They could have literally taken the ball halfway down Route 1 toward another city in Maryland, thrown it in, and it would have bounced in the hole. Baxter trying to work Callaway for the foul. To Gatlin. Maryland now more concerned about the time. They do not have to score anymore. They get the ball to Bias. They'd love to have him the ball in his hands if there is a foul.
And they'll try and keep it in Baxter's hands as well. You know, they're better foul shooters in this ball club. Right now, they'd probably like to keep it out of Lewis's hand because he's having a tough time shooting the basketball.
Shot clock is down to 12. A little surprised that Virginia has not committed the intentional foul. They have to do something. Baxter puts it up, and he is going to get the foul called against Callaway after they worked off most of the 45-second clock.
Yeah, that was surprising that they didn't come out and at least trap or do something a little different instead of just playing a straight-up man-to-man against the Maryland team being down by 12 points.
Shooting 2, Jeff Baxter.
Baxter will go to the line. 18 points today. Hits the free throw, give him 19. He's hit 9 out of 10 shots from the floor. Just a great offensive performance for the young man who averages 9 points a ball game. Missed that free throw, kept alive though, and Bias got it. Then lost it. And here come the Cavaliers. 13-point margin with 1:52 to go. Sims had it blocked by Lewis, but the follow is good. 81-70, it's down to 11, and here's the pressure. And Polynice just gets a forearm into Gatlin for the personal.
Well, the key for Maryland today is everybody has contributed. You know, we've seen Derek Lewis and Long, the great job that they've done at the defensive end of the court and on the boards.
And Tom Jones.
Tom Jones, the spurt when this team was faltering a little bit there in the second half and standing around and watching Len Bias, he was able to ignite them. Baxter has just had such a consistent day from both offensively and contributing a little on the defensive boards. Len Bias, we know what he does for this ball club. And Keith Gatlin just playing a great basketball game for this ball club.
11 assists, 15 points, couple of steals. Not a bad day at the office, 82-70. Gatlin hits this free throw, 83-70 with 1:44 to go. So it looks like Maryland's late season surge is going to pay off for them. They will be 17-12 after this going into the ACC tournament. Drew Kennedy's jumper won't go. Lewis with a rebound. Ahead to Baxter. He'll pull it back out. And a sellout crowd has gotten to see most of what they wanted to see. Bias to Gatlin. Now, notice Len Bias. He's only 9 points shy of that all-time record, has a chance at an open 15-foot jump shot, and yet he passes the ball off. The guy is not concerned about the records. All he wants to do is win.
That's why he's a great basketball player.
That's right.
And that's why I said to you that I think that he would go in the top 3 picks in the NBA draft this year. Because, you know, he knows that winning is the most important thing. And his presence on this court, even if he doesn't score, it's just such an impact on this ball club.
Mention the word impact. Usually you consider centers impact players, especially in the NBA, but he is going to be one as a forward.
No question. I can picture him first year in the NBA averaging about 20 points a game, pulling down several rebounds a ball game. I think he can improve there. He's going to have to improve his intensity at the defensive end of the court, but we've seen that in spurts where he just plays great at both ends of the court.
Maryland by 15. Lance Blanks fires one from the corner. Here comes Tom Jones ahead to Bias. Bias tried to get the touch pass to Baxter and couldn't do it. Johnson will check into the ball game for Maryland, and here comes David Gregg, number 40. He's in for the first time, a freshman from Hyattsville. Tom Jones will come out, Baxter will come out. The two seniors, Lefty Driesell takes them out, hugs them both as they come to the sideline, and they get a standing ovation. And the next stoppage of play, he's going to get Lenny Bias out, and this place is going to shake.
And folks, if you can't hear us or we can't hear each other what we're talking about, you'll understand because this place will truly erupt.
Gatlin and Bias on the break. Len Bias to the baseline, passes it back outside. Gatlin lost it. And here comes Virginia on the run with 39 seconds left. Jumper by Callaway is good. Lefty Driesell may have to use a timeout to stop the clock to get Lenny Bias out.
He'll get him out, and he'll get the applause.
Gatlin almost loses it. We're down to 22 seconds.
Oh, shoot it.
The tip won't go. Bias in the lane with a look. Oh, holy cow.
What a way to finish it off.
And they're going to call Len Bias for the offensive foul.
Let's see if this is an offensive foul.
Well,
close because it looked like he came down. Tough call by the official.
And there's the hand for Bias as he comes out of the ball game. 7 out of 12 from the floor today. 8 out of 9 free throws. 7 rebounds. 22 points. And the standing ovation, and deserved for one of the great players in the history of this basketball program. And Keith Gatlin waving his arm saying, let's applaud for the man. The shot is missed. Gatlin has the ball with 13 seconds to go.
You don't want to do what Gatlin's doing now behind the back, showing off, because there'll be another day they'll be playing against this Virginia basketball team and just do it with a little bit more class. I know he's got to be excited about winning this basketball game, but don't rub it in.
Jerry Donahue just said something to him. You know, you're taking a chance on causing some hard feelings or something like that. And that's right.
I'm not going to mention any names, but there was a situation. I saw a game where a guy was doing that between the legs and everything, and then he tried to go between the defender's legs, and the defender just popped him right in the nose.
Yeah.
Because he was just trying to make a fool and embarrass the ball club. And I know Keith doesn't really mean that, but he's just a little emotionally involved and excited about the victory.
Gatlin misses this free throw. Only 5 seconds left. Callaway trying to get off the last shot. He will not. And Maryland with a big victory. Maryland winning it here at Cole Fieldhouse. The final score, the Terps 87, Virginia 72.